This is actually your spray gun, brand spanking new. Okay, this is basically your air on, air off. This is your product on, product off. Okay, now the main thing that's actually on here that does get dirty, that needs more maintenance than anything, is actually these pieces right here. This is your mixing chamber, this is your spray tip. These are the ones that actually need more maintenance than anything. Normally a full gun, a mixing chamber should run you the entire shift, okay? Should run you the whole shift. But if it does need maintenance, you're actually going to have replacement parts. All you have to do is disassemble the front portion of the gun, replace that piece and your spray tip, and then you're ready to start spraying again. You don't have to do a full breakdown. The full breakdown, like I said, what you have here should be done once a month. If need be, they can do it maybe once a week if you wanted to do it. That's really depending on you guys, okay? Normally at the OEM level, they are rebuilding these after every 2 days, okay? Now, basically, when you actually do the rebuilding, basically what you're going to do is you're going to remove your side blocks. This is your 3/16 Allen. Your best bet is actually working off a bench vise. Keeps the gun stable. This is actually your A side block, or ISO side block. You never want to, if you actually do take these parts, do not intermix them with the B side and A side. You don't want to do that. You will have the material will react. Basically remove this section here as well. What we're basically going to do is a full breakdown, so that way you can take a look at the inner components of the gun. And there you go. This is your A side block. This is your, B side block, A side block. You can take a look here. If you take a look at your components here, this section here is actually this side right here. You have a dowel ring seal, spring, side seal, which is this piece right here. That's actually 35 is actually an O-ring that's actually on this piece right here. Okay? And then that's your side seal retainer, which is this piece right here. One thing's for sure. These pieces, when you do take them off, you actually want to take a look, see how it's actually popping out. There's going to be times where that piece won't be protruding the way it is now. If it is not, for example, if I take them off and they're protruding this far out, that means they're working. Leave them alone. Don't do anything with it. But if they're not protruding, that means we'll have to take it off. And the side that does give you the problems is this side, the ISO side. The B side is rare that it actually does it. But if you have to take this off and rebuild it, what you want to do is you want to take your 13 millimeter. You're actually going to unscrew this right off. There's going to be times that you're going to have a tough time, so you might have to grab a propane torch and lightly heat it up to actually loosen it up, because the ISO does catalyze with just the moisture in the air. So you can take a look here. This is your side seal. This is your spring. And this is your dowel ring seal. Do you have a pick set? Just take that out. Now this piece right here, believe it or not, it will collapse. It will compress after off and on, off and on. And there's a way to actually determine that. I'll show you once we get the whole gun put back together. So basically what you want to do is make sure you use the round side, press that out, hold it, and pulls right out. So these are actually components you can take a look at. And this is the O-ring that I was referring to. You definitely want to take a look at this O-ring, because with time the ISO will tear that up, because it actually makes that O-ring nice and hard. So if it gets pretty brittle, that's going to replace that. Now the time that I'm telling you is when you do take it off, there's going to be times that you're actually going to see it like this. Okay, that's telling you that it is not working and it has to be disassembled. It should be protruding completely. Okay. Okay, now what we're going to do, and these are identical. Okay, so what we're going to do is take off the filter assembly. Filter assembly, here we go. Should be cleaned every day as well, because like I said, it does pick up a lot of the trash that is in the material, and the lines taken off. Then changing materials when you actually get majority of your trash. So you basically have a filter, and this is a 60 mesh filter here. You have a check ball, and you also have a spring. That's right in. So this section here is actually this back here. You got your spring, filter, the check ball, the O-ring, and then the filter support. this does slide right out. And then your O-ring. So these right here, basically the best thing to do is blow it compressed air, hold it up to the light, make sure you can see right through. Sometimes, not always, the ISO can catalyze within the filter, and if actually you take it off and it just, sometimes you say, okay, it looks clean. But believe it or not, the best way to do is blow it and hold it up to the light, make sure you can see through it. Okay? That is basically your filter assembly. Now what we're going to do is remove the front portion. This is your spray tip. This is the section that actually the material does come in and atomize. This is an 01 spray tip. It's just a spray tip insert. Best way to clean this out, if the kit does come with a drill bit, best thing to do is drill it from the back end, and then basically you can heat it up a little bit with the propane torch and then use your drill bit again. But you always drill it from the rear end, not from the front. And what ends up happening, if you do it from the front, you're actually going to wallow out that spray, the round pattern, and it's basically going to give you an oblong shape. You always want to make sure it's from the back end. Okay, that's your spray tip. That's actually this section right here. That one there, B. Okay, what we're going to do is remove the front housing. So basically, this is your 5/30 seconds. And to do the mixing chamber and spray tip assembly, taking that out, you will have to remove the side blocks, as we're doing now, and the front housing to access the mixing chamber. Okay, this is your mixing chamber. It's an 01, meaning 1 gallon per minute. Now, this here, these orifices right here do get clogged up after a certain amount of time. The best thing to do is actually, if you have to do a mixing chamber, say you don't have one ready to go, propane torch, what you want to do is just slightly warm it up. Don't get it too hot. And then you're going to use actually a paper clip that's actually you're going to poke the orifices. The kit does give you a drill bit. The problem with the drill bit, you actually start to scar the chamfer ends right here of the orifices, but a paper clip works the best. So just basically poke it right in there and poke it right in the front. Put compressed air, shoot it out, put your fingers right here in front, and make sure you can feel the air real good. After you do that, hold the gun up to the light and look right through those orifices. You should be able to see as clear as day. Now, if you're not able to see as clear as day, I'm telling you it's the same thing. It's still dirty. Use your paper clip, warm it up, compressed air, once again, hold it up until you can see as clear as day. That is really important. Believe it or not, material, especially on the ISO side, material will build up on here and will set the machine off ratio. Believe it or not, that small orifice can give you an off ratio of almost 1,000 pounds difference. And that's the one thing you definitely don't want to do. Okay? The material works from 0 to 500 within that range, and that's where you want to be. But you really want to be between the 200 to 300 pounds because of the viscosity of the material. But once you start reaching above the 500, normally that's going to tell you that you're starting to get a dirty mixing chamber. Okay? Now to remove this, basically just screw this off. If it is hard to get off, what you're going to want to do is use a 7mm and a 13, and then just unscrew that right off. There is a solution called All-Solve that you can actually soak these parts in, and it will break down pure isocyanate and bed liner. It works great. You don't have to heat it up. It's just a cold solution that you can drop in, leave it there for about an hour, come back, use your paper clip again, front portion and compressed air, and it actually will clean it just like this, brand new again. Okay? So once again, it's actually part number A here.